The following is a production of Boiling Springs, Upstate Prepcast.
Welcome in tonight here to Real Talk with Coach Matt Real. Tom Dixon along with Ken Walters, and behind the scenes, Todd Waddell, and of course head coach Matt Real. And coach, 2 years in a row, first round on the road playoffs, victories both years, but this year you decided to give the fans their money's worth, made it a little bit exciting. You know, last year we was up 30 points. This year we didn't take the lead for the final time till 5 seconds to go. I appreciate that.
It was not by my design, I can promise you that. I do not like taking years off of my life. But nevertheless, man, there was a lot of excitement in that game. A lot of just, I was talking to a couple guys, that was the boringest game until the last 4 minutes. And then it was like pandemonium from then on out. And it's kind of the truth. We just didn't score in the red zone. I felt like we controlled literally the whole game. Just controlled the whole game, never felt like it was out of control, never felt like they were going to take momentum, anything, and then they hit the touchdown on 4th and I think 17 or 18, and get the ball back with a minute and 40 seconds, I believe it was, minute 36, whatever it was, and then just watched our guys, I had 3 timeouts, and just watched our guys methodically,
74-yard drive and get down there and
just makes it look easy,
Made it look, and where was that the whole game? We were just toying with them.
Yeah, but man, such a gutsy effort. So many times when you get in those moments, just doubt, can set in, or a bad play happens where you get a holding call and it kind of takes away from the momentum. But our guys just went out there and made a big play on 3rd down right there to Izell. He made a big play for us, and then after that, man, they just kind of made it work. And really, like, we got first downs, got out of bounds, got first downs, got out of bounds. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, at some point, I'm going to have to call a timeout to get this thing going.
Take these home with me.
But our guys just executed. And, we talked about it a little bit this weekend, but, we do those things every Wednesday and Thursday. Like, we work those, maybe not that exact scenario, but our 2-minute drill, we change it every week. It might be a minute 25, we got to get a field goal. It might be a minute 50, we got to score a touchdown. Like, we do all those things every single week, so the defense is preparing to try and stop those things from happening. And then obviously the offense is being put into those pressure situations in practice to go out and make those plays. So, I told our coaches, Saturday as we were texting, and then Sunday in our meeting, just the calmness on our sideline for that minute and 40 seconds. The kids weren't panicking. Coaches weren't panicking. I know the crowd was going insane, but
wasn't a whole lot of calmness in the booth.
but there was no, there's high and lows during the game,
Sure.
And there's chatter, and and you're trying to block all this stuff out. But it was just like our staff, our players, everybody was just in tune. There was no panic. There was no, worry. It was just, hey, let's get the play call, let's go execute, and let's go to the next play. And as a head coach, that was one of the things I just, when I really kind of got to sit down and think about it, that was one thing that stood out to me. It was just in that moment, how relaxed those guys are and how they all handled it the right way.
Well, one thing you got to do is, again, you set the goal out, you go on the road for the playoffs. You got to go and win a first round and extend the season and go on the road this week. But you also got to avenge one of the losses we had this year back on the same field that, you had to have felt like when we played Malden the first time, we should have won that game. We had our chance to win that game, but we just made some mistakes or what have you. And I kept saying all season, I'd love to have that game back. I'd love to have that game back. Well, we got that game back, and we took care of business. A little bit more exciting than we wanted it, but at the same time, that builds character, and it shows you what the team's made of. And with a lot of the guys that we have that are going to be coming back next year, this is something to build with.
Yeah, and the thing that's frustrating is, if we win that game earlier in the year, we're probably playing them at home. With the RPI system the way it's set up, and that would have been awesome to have a home playoff game. But you deal with, I keep telling our guys, like, the things that cause us to do certain things is on us. You know, we should have won the Riverside game. We should have won the Malden game. If you win that, you're 6-4, probably a 6 seed. You know, so there's things that are on us, you know, on me as the head coach, on us as our program. But you got two choices in that moment. You can either, you know, cry about it and feel sorry for yourself and go and your season ends, or you man up, you test yourself, say, hey, look, man, this is a game we get back. Let's go to their place. Let's do what we should have done the first time, and let's win a game that means more now than that game did in week 1. You know, if we had to choose, hey, you're going to win one or the other, I'd much rather win the playoff game.
Yeah, you got to win this one
than this one. So
because Malden's playing basketball now.
Yep.
We're still practicing football, and they're focusing on a different shape of ball. But a couple things coming out of this game that I'm sure you got to address by this week is penalties. I mean, we were able to overcome a lot of penalties and still get the job done. And
Never seen so many.
I've never seen so many against both teams. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's every time you turned around, there was a holding call, there was a procedure call, there was something. And our guys, like you said in the last drive, we didn't get rattled on that. We didn't let it take us out of the ball game, and that's just all season long. We've talked about this on the air, and it's not bad mouthing the officials. There's such a short of those guys out there. They're not getting the training, getting the positions, I think, and it's just been inconsistency and not letting that take those guys out of the game and letting them influence this game as much as any more than they did.
yeah, I thought our guys did a great job. And some of the calls we got were us being aggressive, and I can, you know, at the end of the day, you kind of live with those.
Sure.
You know what I mean? We get a pancake block 7 yards downfield, and it's a holding call. I mean, you don't want the holding call, but you're also like, man, that dude just drove that cat 7 yards downfield and pancaked him. So
High five him as he
know,
walks off the field.
And those are the ones that, you know, you'll hear our coaches, hey, it's good, it's all right. You know, that's an aggressive penalty that we're going to take in that moment. You know, but there's certain, you know, obviously time and place. But you know, looking forward towards this week, you know, we can't have those.
Oh, no.
You know, thinking about last year. You know, they go down and score. We get the football. We drive all the way down the field. 3rd and 1, we jump off sides. 4th and 1, we jump off sides. 2 different drives to where we're on the plus side of the field. We at least score a field goal probably, maybe a touchdown, you know, depending on what happens. And against, you know, high-caliber teams, which, you know, once you get into the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round of the playoffs, you're playing high-quality teams.
Every week.
Just playoffs in general.
Sure.
You can't.
And you just, you know, we can't take points off the board, and we can't give them extra possessions. So, you know, this week it's just been all about details. You know, really just the small details that I really feel like Dutch Fork does a great job at. That's why they win as much as they do. They have great players, obviously. They have great coaches, but they do the small things right all the time. And they make you lose the game. And I think that's the biggest point we've made to our kids this week is we've got to go win the game. We've got to out-execute them. We've got to out-physical them. We've got all those things we talk about. We've got to do all those things, and we got to make plays. You know, we can't shoot ourselves in the foot and then look up and hope that things work out. This just not one of those weeks where that's going to happen. And that's the pressure of the playoffs, but that's also, you know, as you progress through it, if you want to be a upper state champion or you want to be a state champion, those things are all things you got to do at a high level.
Coach, you mentioned the little things. One of the things I said on the air Friday night, and a lot of people, you wouldn't notice it because you're your coach, and the fans aren't noticing it because they're watching the ball, watching the game on the field. There was a play early in the game, early in the first quarter, and I think it was a 3-and-out. We had a couple of penalties. Offense comes off the field, and your coaches immediately got their position guys, and they were coaching their tails off.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't, you know, pointing fingers and accusing somebody doing. I mean, they were getting their head right, getting them in position, getting them ready for the next series. And for me, just sitting there absorbing all that, that was pretty impressive to have your coaching staff do something like that.
Well, I think too, you know, it's the players being open to being coached. You know, there's a to me a characteristic of our players that we want is for them to be coachable. Whether it's getting yelled at, whether it's getting just instructed, whether it's just, you know, film. Can you receive all that, take it for what it is, and then go and do it? And I thought our guys did a really good job of making adjustments and taking coaching the whole game. And I told you, man, our staff is really, really good. They do a phenomenal job of preparation and coaching our kids.
Can you break down that last touchdown play for us? I heard it was supposed to be a pass, or pass was the first option.
So we have multiple layers to that play, and Coach Turk has done a great job of building into that play things that have been illusions earlier in the game. We ran a reverse for Grayson earlier. If you watch that film, their defense completely reacts to the reverse.
They do. They take like 5 players go with the reverse.
Yep, and we had a tight end that was leaking in, to the flat. That could have been an option, but I think Emery just saw green grass, and it was too easy, and he did a great job with it. So it's, it's not a play where we're like, hey, look, this is the one thing you're going to do. We've got multiple options off of it, and he did a great job of reading it and getting in the end zone.
Yeah, when I saw I didn't catch the reverse part live, and when I saw the film, and I saw all the defenders go with the fake reverse, he made it a little easy. I think we were outnumbering them now.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good on that corner.
I'll tell you this, we called a timeout right there, and they were giving us some different stuff up front, and I kind of look at Coach Turk and I say, hey, quarterback draw right here, spread them out, quarterback draw. He said, Coach, I really like this play. I feel really good about it. I said, hey, look, man, you tell me what you want in your gut, you run with it. And he's like, I feel good about it. So we went with his play call, and I'm pretty smart. I listened to him and let him call it.
There you go.
And it worked out. Scored with 5 seconds to go, and brought the victory back up 85, and we get to live to fight another day.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a quick break. We've got some special guests coming here in just a minute. We'll be right back.
Hey, baby! Wings Etc. now offers online ordering. Use your smartphone, tablet, or computer. Visit to-go.wingsetc.com. It's fast, it's easy, it's convenient, and you can order all your favorites exactly the way you like them. That's to-go.wingsetc.com for a direct connection to all your favorites. Wings, ribs, burgers, wraps, salads, ultimate nachos, and more. Order what you love, and it'll be ready for pickup before you even know it. Online ordering at Wings Etc. Well, click, then go.
Wings Etc., 2644 Bowling Springs Road in Bowling Springs.
Have you been hurt by church? Have you maybe lost your faith or lost your way? We understand that at View Church because we've been there. If you're looking for an authentic place to worship with authentic people that understand brokenness, we would love for you to come and be our guest sometime. We have 2 services at 8:30 and 11, and we're located at 5555 Paris Bridge Road in Bowling Springs. Come, find hope again.
And we're back here at Real Talk with Coach Matt Real and some special guests. We're going back 2 weeks ago to the game against Burns High School. Unfortunately, I wasn't at the game, so Todd and Ken were on the call. And Ken, you got some player of the games that you want to talk to a little bit because they played great for us over there against the Burns Rebels.
Well, they've been playing great all season, and that's one thing we got to remember. Got to take us off. There you go.
Producers, it's hard to get good help.
But what I was saying was they've been playing great all season. A lot of times they don't get the recognition because there's just a lot of players around them. And for the Burns game, we were looking for some players of the game, and C.J. Burke and Preston Real stood out. So first off, we got a defensive player of the week. It's C.J. Burke. It's brought to us by Tom Dixon. And C.J., you're a junior this year. First year on the varsity, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me, how's your season been going?
It's been going well. I'm just trying to get better every day.
What's your thoughts on that Burns game, if you can remember 2 weeks back?
I feel like as a team, we didn't play to our best potential, and we could have did a lot of things better than we did.
Well, you were flying all over the field. You made a lot of tackles, and you had a tough assignment trying to stop one of the best running backs in the state. And to be honest with you, your defense did a fairly decent job, better than a lot of other schools have done for the year. So you need to be commended for that. But certainly, and now, what other sports do you play for Bowling Springs?
I also play basketball.
Okay, so you want to prolong this football season, even though basketball is starting out.
Yes, sir.
Coach Martin will wait for you. I've seen you play basketball. I know he's got a spot saved for you over there on the team. But so we want to present you this week for the Burns game, the defensive player for outstanding performance.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Show that to the camera real quick. There you go. and our offensive player. So we don't normally have a special teams player as a most outstanding player. One of the things that stood out is on that game, it was field position. It turned out field position was very important. We had to keep Burns on their side of the field because once their running back got the ball, a couple plays later, next thing you know, they're across the midfield already. So throughout the game, your leg was driving them back for the most part and keeping them pinned down. What's your thoughts on that game 2 weeks ago?
I feel like that, like CJ said, we could have done better as a team. Burns is a very good team. It's tough to play against, but I feel like, the field position was very important, and I feel like we did a pretty good job at that on punt. But overall, I feel like we could have played better, and we made up for it against Malden.
Well, your coach here always talks about special teams, talks about how important. I mean, it's a few yards here and a few yards there that can make a difference. And you've been doing it all season, not just as a punter, but as a kicker too. So give me a quick feedback on your season overall.
I feel like it's been pretty good. Last year was my first year ever playing football.
Okay.
So it was a lot to adapt to. It's very different from the other sports I've played in the past. But I feel like this year I've had definitely a step up from last year on JV.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm just glad I've been able to do whatever I can to help the team.
And you're a former soccer player?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're a junior as well, so we'll have you back again next year, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, we want to present with you. I can get this open here.
It's childproof.
Yeah, it sure is, yeah. So Preston Real for outstanding offensive performance for the Burns game.
Thank you, sir.
Show that to the camera.
There you go.
So there you go, Tom. Two outstanding players.
Two great
Well
choices,
deserved.
and I've been watching them all season, and of course I did watch that game online, thanks to you guys putting on, and y'all have done a great job all season long. In that game, you definitely stood out, and on special teams punting, and it's tough to sit there coming from soccer where they're not running out with pads on trying to knock your head off. Now you got the ball snapped at, and you got to get rid of it, and you pin them back, and then on the field goals and extra points, things like that, plus kickoffs, a lot of times you're putting them in the end zone, so we don't have to worry about a run back. That's huge. Defense, you got to be a headhunter out there, and you've been doing that all season.
All season.
So
yeah.
we got another game this Friday night on the road. It's second round of the playoffs, so we're counting on y'all to step up again. Coach, these are two good guys that have done a good job for us.
Oh yeah, CJ started out at inside backer, and we've kind of moved him outside, inside. He's even stood up as a defensive end at some point. Really versatile and allows us to move him around and to do a lot of different things, jumping in from our even fronts to odd fronts. And he's done a great job for us, done exactly what we thought we were going to get with those guys that are moving up from that JV team. Him and Will Guyback as well have done a phenomenal job for us, just filling our voids, and then he's part of our special teams as well. And then Preston, like you said, we got him. We're always looking for specialists. It's something that is just not coached, at a young age anymore, and we went on the hunt, and he luckily came out and got to hang out with our JV group last year and got him a lot of experience, and you could tell it was just brand new. But man, he's worked really, really hard.
Definitely has.
Committed to it over the summer, over the off season. Coach Coven has done a phenomenal job. We're blessed, man. We have a specialist coach. That's all he coaches, and he's with those guys every single day. And they have a program, they have a process. You'll hear me say it all the time, process wins when we're at practice. And it's just the snap, the catch, the kick, the placement. Our guys covering, Burns, Spartanburg, different schools are known for, pressuring punts, pressuring, special teams with speed and trying to create points and turnovers. And that's been one of our Achilles heels every year against those teams is, we got one punt blocked, either punt blocked or returned the last, 3 years against those schools. And this year, Coach Anderson's done a great job of handling our punt team, and our specialists have done a great job of just executing their jobs. And, man, it makes life a whole lot easier, when those guys can go out and execute, and it's not going to be a negative part of the game, So there's a lot of credit to these guys for the work they put in and the pride they take in, how much emphasis we put on those.
And we got them get both of them back for another
That's the
year.
best part.
They're coming back.
100%.
There is no off season in football. There's no off season. Even if you're playing basketball, you're still thinking about football when you're out there. Because we got your big season next year as well. But we're not done this year yet. Still got several games left in football, and we're counting on both of y'all Friday night and then some. So
I'll say this too, Coach Martin is one of our biggest supporters. He was at the playoff game Friday night. He's one of the first people to message me. We share our kids, so we have weight training together. When he first got here, he said, "Coach, I want my basketball guys lifting with your football guys." That was the first thing we talked about. And they'll tell you, they're in here during football season, we're first priority. Basketball guys are still in here lifting with us. And then once we transition into basketball season, they go with him for their practice or stuff during class. Once their season's over with, they transition right back to us. So it's just been really good for us. It's a great relationship. And, for us to be successful, those things have to happen. So I'd be making a huge mistake if I didn't mention, how much support, Craig and that whole basketball staff gives us and pulls for us and just really jumps in with us how we need them to.
Yeah. And it pays dividends for us. It's obviously working. Well, guys, we appreciate you coming tonight. We're looking forward to watching y'all play again on Friday night against Dutch Fork.
Let's get the win.
Thanks.
Yes, sir.
We're going to take a break and come right back and bring in some more guests.
Derrick Henry.
Hey, Jake from State Farm. I saved so much bundling, it inspired my workout. Auto! Home!
Okay, and this is Auto again, right?
Auto!
Hey, this is my living room.
Home!
Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan.
The dog isn't allowed on the couch, Derek.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Call Agent Chad Wagner, Asheville Highway, Spartanburg, 585-7999.
At Guy Roofing, we know that a roof is more than just a roof. It's spending quality time with the family. It's shelter through the storm. And it's a good night's sleep. We know roofs, and for over 50 years, we've been your neighbor, making sure you're covered. Guy Roofing. We know roofs.
Call 864-578-4594 for your consultation today.
All right, we're back here at Real Talk with Coach Matt Real. And, Coach, we brought some more guys with us tonight. Each week we do a player of the game on offense and defense. And this past week was Malden game. It's playoff. So what we tried to do this season is not give it to the same guy each week because everybody's doing something to contribute. But we decided, Todd and Ken decided during playoffs, we're just going to give it who earned it that particular game.
Sure.
Whether they've had it every week already or 3 or 4 times, it doesn't matter. Who stands out, and I get to sit back and listen to them during the game, watching texting back and forth. Well, what about this guy? What about this guy? All the way up till about the end of the third quarter, we had all kinds of names because everybody's doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And then the fourth quarter came in, and some guys just decided it's my turn. And we're going to go to the first one, the offensive player of the game, Emory Logan. Emory, you put the team on your back in the fourth quarter, and that final drive, you put the team on your back and just took them down the field. And it was a very impressive and a composed drive that ended with a touchdown going in, and I didn't realize you had the hops like that. I mean, when you took off, I thought you were going to land out of the back of the end zone. Yes. Coach Martin had to watch that.
I was gonna say,
they'll find out real quick.
Yeah, you hadn't seen him in the basketball court.
He had some hops. I was like, good gosh. But tell us about that game, because it was back and forth all during the game. We had the lead, and we felt kind of comfortable between the 20s, and then there toward the end, we kind of let them score a touchdown just to make it exciting, keep people in the seats, get their money's worth, and then you just took over with the 74-yard drive there at the end of the game. What are your thoughts on that Malden game?
Well, I feel like we kind of started off slow. We could move the ball, but we just couldn't put it in the end zone, and a lot of that got to do with me because I'm the constructor of the offense, so I got to be able to put the ball in the end zone at any time given. But once we got to that last drive, and at first I was a little scared because I ain't never been in a position like that, but once we got closer and closer, I just knew we was going to end up scoring and winning that game. And once I seen I could get in the touchdown, I ain't never been so happy a day in my life.
He kind of floated, Coach.
It was awesome. It was cool for me because, like, in the moment, it's just you see them score, it's get out there. You don't see everything going on around it. But as you watch the video, you watch the pictures, you watch the news, you see the background of the crowd, you see our ball boys that are going insane in the end zone with them. You see, and that's memories made, that he's never going to forget. I'm never going to forget. Those boys are never going to forget. Our coaches' kids are talking about it this week, about that moment. So it's just a cool moment. It's a great, ending to, a tough night offensively. Overall, we had so many opportunities to score, early on and even through the third quarter. And then just for us to put it all together in that moment was special.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great game. As I said earlier, it wasn't quite as exciting as the first round last year when we were comfortably in the lead the whole second half. So you guys made it a little bit more interesting than it needed to be. But we got the job done, especially that final drive. It's got to build confidence in the team, in the offense, to go down, because you can't replicate that pressure at practice. You can try all you want to, but until you do it on Friday night under the lights against another team, you said you were kind of scared to start that because you hadn't been in that position. Well, now you've been in that position, so the next time, I've done this before. Now I can just build on that, and that's huge. And for you to acknowledge that, that's just growth right there.
Yeah, you can't teach experience.
Can't teach experience. Yeah. Well, these guys, they picked you as the offensive player of the game against Malden in the first round of the playoffs. I'm gonna present that to you, and we got to do it again this Friday because we're going on the road to Dutch Fork, and it doesn't get any easier.
Yeah.
Playoffs, it's win or go home, and we're going on the road down there, and we've won down there before, so we can do it again.
Yes, sir.
Well, great job there. Looking forward to see you on Friday night. Coming up, defensive player of the game. We got two of them this week because they just couldn't make their mind up, and they said, we're going to give it to both of them. And Tomajo Brown, you did a great job for us all over the field, being a headhunter out there. Tell us a little bit about your thought process in that game and what stands out to you on the game against Malden.
To me, when I was playing out there, I felt like I had to play for my seniors because I didn't want to be our last game. So I was like doing everything I could do for us to win. On defense, when I got that pick.
Yeah, you got you an interception. Yeah. That's always a highlight reel, man.
Oh, so at first I didn't think I caught it, but I realized I had it. I was like, oh yeah, let's go.
You can't say that, man. You should say, I knew I had it the whole time.
I'm glad you said that, Coach. You said this is just old hat for me. I knew I had it all the way. I can't believe the guy threw it in my direction.
Yeah.
That's the next time that happens. He should have known better than throw it my direction.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna run it, but he threw it. I was like, that's mine then.
Right there, you go. That's better. That's mine. He threw it. That's mine then. But you played a great game for us. What about senior year? It could have been your last game. In fact, I said on the air before the game, it's kind of a bittersweet game because there are seniors on that field that on one jersey or the other. And I said, I hope it's the brown jerseys, but there's seniors on the field that will never suit it up again after tonight because they're not going to go play college ball. This is it. Lay it out there on the field, and y'all did. And because of that, y'all get to play another week. And so, got to be a great feeling for you. We got a big game coming against Dutch Fork. What's going through your mind about that? I mean,
I'm ready.
Second round of the playoffs. Yeah. Next team up, doesn't matter who's in front of you. You're just ready to go get them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, you did a great job for us.
Second player of the game this season.
Yep. So, doing it all season long.
Yeah.
We're going to present you this with one of the, co-defensive player of the game with an interception and just been all over the field for us all season and really, really helping out. Next guy, we've talked about him a couple of times, and I think I mentioned him several times on there. He kind of took over in the fourth quarter and had a couple of big defensive tackles for a loss, sacks, if you want to call them. You were just everywhere in the second half, and you just kind of said, look, it's my turn. And you and that quarterback got well acquainted there late in the fourth quarter.
Yes,
Tell us about that. It's got to be exciting there as a senior as well.
Yes, sir. So I know last time we played them, we kept trying to send me a lot, and quarterback was just rolling out. So we made a huge adjustment. I was really just spying the QB whole game. So we made that adjustment, and that helped a lot. And I just really went and go get him every time. Because last time, every time I would go in, he would roll out the pocket, get a couple yards, get a first down. It didn't work, so we had to make that adjustment. That worked out pretty great for me. So.
Well, again, you mentioned the first time we played him, he hurt us a few times because we have him hemmed up, and he was a good athlete, good with his legs. He was able to extend some drives. With this game, not so much, and that's the adjustments it made. And, Coach, as a coach on the team, knowing you got a player like that you can say, just spy the quarterback, don't let him beat us this time.
Well, I think, too, man, people don't realize some of the kids that we have, that they are very different, hybrid-type players that you have to have in this day and age of how offenses are ran. And, when you have a quarterback who's mobile, when you have a quarterback, Emory's the same way. You have a running back who now becomes an extra blocker. So if they want to use him in the run game, they can do that. If they want to, put the running back out in the flat to create an extra pass, receiver, they can do that. So we had to have an answer, when the running back was gone and we made our checks to that, who could go and make the play. And I thought Dennis Glenn did a really good job of taking their run game away. I thought the first time we played them, they could be 50-50. There was a ton of, inside zone, outside zone. There was a ton of bootleg, there was a ton of, screens. Friday night, Dennis erased any assumption of a run game you could possibly have, which allowed these guys to really have my one-step read, but understand 90% we're seeing pass right here. And I'll say this, our defensive staff did a phenomenal job of breaking things down, letting our guys see it. We were calling at a high percentage rate the play that was coming Friday night. And anytime pre-snap what you're getting, whether it's run, pass, these guys could pin their ears back and go and play. And, I thought we've done a really good job of conditioning through the year, building, speed through the year, building strength through the year, and just watching TJ run through, around, into whatever he wanted to do. They had no answer for him. And that was just glaringly evident. And, the last time I felt like their quarterback kind of put space between us when he took off, and it was the exact opposite Friday night. It looked like he was shrinking it every step you took. And it was just fun to watch. It's fun to watch guys play with that intensity, with that attention to detail. We didn't play – the first time we played, we had a lot of just what we call bust. We had plays called. We had a peel call. We don't get to it. We just had some things that we just didn't execute, and they scored 2 touchdowns off of those. And Friday night, those didn't exist. No. The 2 touchdowns they scored were contested. Our guys were there. They just made a play. And I thought we really dominated the line of scrimmage the whole game. I felt like we dominated the whole game outside of 2 plays. And our guys just they just played as hard as they could play, and they executed. And we had some things dialed up they didn't have an answer for. And TJ was one of those things we had dialed up.
Didn't have an answer. Question I got is, I saw a picture of your jersey online. That white jersey looks brown. Did we have an answer on how to get that thing clean?
I'm still cleaning it. I went to the car wash today and hung it up and pressure washed it. Well, I take pride in my laundry skills, and
he's testing it, Coach.
Well, I've still got about 12 jerseys that are in. I just got buckets and white out and all that kind of stuff, and they're still soaking. So I'm hoping by Thursday when we give them those jerseys, they're going to be able to wear them and still be white. So we'll see.
Yeah, when I said make sure you leave everything out there on the field, I was kind of being figuratively speaking, but you left the jersey and took the dirt with you. But that's just hard work, and games like that, especially for a defender, they're fun. Obviously coming out on the winning end of it is great, but defensive side, y'all really, send a message to these guys. Take away those 2 plays that they kind of, I'd say one of them was definitely luck, but that 4th and 15 from out there, he just kind of slung it a 50-50 ball, and there was, he ended up making a catch and getting in the end zone, but Emory was able to, bring us down the field and score. But defensively, you're all over the place, and that's got to be a lot of fun. Both of you guys. I mean, you got a pick, you got a bunch of sacks, tackle for the loss, and you influenced the decision-making that the quarterback made, and that was a big thing.
100%.
You had a big, part of influencing what he was doing. First game this season, he was able to make some plays and extend some drives. This time, like you said, that didn't happen. And that's just a testament to the adjustments the coaching staff made and you taking those adjustments and applying it on the field.
One thing I noticed Friday night, when TJ would come off the field, he was still in his zone. He was very intense even off the field. And I haven't really seen that out of him all season. I mean, we know on the field he's a tense player and he's concentrating, but when he was off the field, he was listening to coaches, he was talking to players. I mean, he was working, and it showed Friday night. Congratulations.
Thank you. Well, we're going to need to do it again this Friday. But, again, you were chosen as the co-defensive player of the game, first round of the playoffs against Malden. And like I told the coach earlier, we got to do a couple of things. We got to win the first-round playoff on the road and avenge a loss earlier in the season over on the same field. So that's 2 things we got to do Friday night that you guys, got to feel good about that. But congratulations on the, co-defensive player of the game. And all 3 of you guys, y'all won it earlier this year, offensive defensive player of the game. So winning it again is just a testament to your consistency and how important y'all have been to the team all season. But we're not done.
And these two are seniors. So any college?
Only one of them.
Only one of them.
Oh, you're not. Oh, I thought.
Yeah, don't wish
All right, yeah.
don't wish him away, man.
You're trying to get rid of him, Coach.
No, sir, absolutely not.
Well, my point
If I could get TJ back for another year, I'd take him back too.
Can we reclassify him?
Hey,
I'm sure there is a college out there that can use a skilled linebacker like this.
no, there's no doubt. We've actually been talking a lot of recruiting the last couple of weeks as far as TJ and where he's going to end up at, and unfortunately, the recruiting is just really hard right now, and it's a lot slower than it used to be. They're going transfer portal, JUCO, and then they're getting to their high school kids. So that's been the last 2 years. We signed 9 guys last year from that team, and I don't think anybody committed until January. So there's going to be plenty of suitors showing up for that guy. He's already got a couple right now, and there's already been more that have been talking. So there's no doubt in my mind he's going to have a hard decision to make, sometime in the near future on where he's going to spend his next, 4 years at least.
And what shape of the ball are you going to be playing when you go to college? Because
that's right.
You're a baseball player too, so you got options ahead. Just be patient and pick out which one's best for you, because that's what's really important. Well, congratulations, but we're not done yet. We got another game this Friday and another one after that. So keep up the hard work. Get his jersey clean, Coach. Easier for me to see him on the field with those numbers like that.
I may have to call Miss Felicia and see what her trick's been with baseball and football for the last 17, 18 years, to see if she can give me some hints as to how I can get it fixed.
That's right. Well, we're going to take another quick break, come back, and get set up for the game against Dutch Fork. We'll be right back.
Since 1925, Seawright Funeral Home has been caring for families in the Spartanburg area during the difficult times of personal loss. Staff at Seawright is committed to providing your family with exceptional service. They have an experienced staff. Their facility is located in beautiful downtown Inman. On site, there's a chapel, multiple viewing rooms, crematorium, and arrangement rooms. Experiencing the loss of a loved one is difficult. Allow the caring professionals at Seawright Funeral Home to honor your family with dignity and respect.
Hey, baby! Wings Etc. now offers online ordering. Use your smartphone, tablet, or computer. Visit. Hey, baby! Wings Etc. now offers online ordering. Use your smartphone, tablet, or computer. Visit to-go.wingsetc.com. It's fast, it's easy, it's convenient, and you can order all your favorites exactly the way you like them. That's to-go.wingsetc.com for a direct connection to all your favorites. Wings, ribs, burgers, wraps, salads, ultimate nachos, and more. Order what you love, and it'll be ready for pickup before you even know it. Online ordering at Wings Etc. Well, click, then go.
Wings Etc. 2644 Bowling Springs Road in Bowling Springs.
Back here at Real Talk with Coach Matt Real. And Coach, great game against Malden. Got the players' game and everything, but now we got another game to go to down at Dutch Fork. We've been there a few times. It's never easy going down there, but in order to be the best, you got to go through the best, and they've kind of established themselves in the state. It's got to be an exciting time to go and prepare for that and take these guys down there.
Yeah, I just think about Ric Flair. He used to always say, if you want to be the man, you got to beat the man.
That's right.
And whether you want to admit it or not, they're the man right now. And, we've had 2 opportunities in the last 2 years to go and try to do that, and we got a third this year. So they're a very good football team. They're coached very well. They know how to win. And anytime you play a program that knows how to win, expects to win, kind of has that DNA, then, whether you're at their place or whether you're playing them at home, you got to go and win the game. They're not going to give it to us. They're not going to hand it to us. They're not going to freak out in situations because they've been in those situations. So it's a great opportunity for us. It's a great opportunity to test our program, test where we're at. And I told our kids, man, it's a great opportunity to test yourself against what most people think is the best team in the state of South Carolina. So we get a great opportunity. We got a great week to prepare. Just some toughness factors already. It was, freezing cold yesterday, a little chilly today. So it's just mental. Can you get through that? And I thought we had 2 good days. Our kids were, excited yesterday. Had a little more fire about us warming up, getting ready to go into practice just because it was cold. It was, and you kind of got to get yourself in that mental frame to go and do that. But, just really proud of our kids, what they've done. I was telling you guys earlier, I think people were telling me this weekend, and maybe I should know this stuff, but I don't. It's the first time in 10 years, we've won back-to-back playoff games, in separate years, and it's only been done, I think, 5 or 6 times since the 30s. So, trying to find a positive or trying to find some things for our kids, from a program standpoint of us, growing and bettering. I thought that was a good silver lining for our kids, trying to find something that they've done that hasn't been done and being a part of something that hasn't been done in a long time. So proud of them for that, proud of our staff for that, proud of them just not, backing down from a challenge Friday night. How many teams have you seen in the past getting that moment and it's just too big for them? They don't have the confidence to do it. This says a lot about them, about their gumption, of just standing tall in a moment of adversity and saying, you know what, I'm going to whip this thing, and we're going to go get a win. And really proud of our kids, man. Proud of, like I said earlier, they were just confident. They were calm. There was no panic. There was no, you get in those moments, and until you're in them, you don't necessarily know how your kids are going to react to it. And it just, I told our staff, it's a testament to them of preparing those kids and then the kids responding to it. And there's going to be adversity Friday night, we got to find a way to overcome it, and we really just got to execute at a very high level. We got to find ways to score the football. They're a really good defense up front. Their front seven's really good. They got 2 major Division I players on their D line. One's committed to Michigan. They got a linebacker who I really feel like does not get the credit he deserves. Riley Salters. He's just a ball player, man. He's all over the field everywhere. Got to evaluate him even more doing the north-south stuff, and just really impressed by how hard he plays. And he's been a guy that's done it for 3 years for him. And with Coach Knox there and his pedigree, I've lost to him as a player and as a coach. So it'd be nice to get something.
Well, it's about time
on that level as far as a win. So just a lot of challenge this week.
Coming into the season here, graduation kind of hurt, especially offensively last year. We lost a lot of key players that were 3- and 4-year starters for us. And for us to come back and basically reassemble an offense with younger players and very little Friday night experience, and here we are going into the second round of the playoffs, you got to feel real good about it, because one of the reasons why, like you said, that it's rare for Bowling Springs to have back-to-back years winning first-round playoffs is because we'll have a real good senior class, and then we just fall off so much after graduation that it takes us 2 or 3 more years to get anywhere back close. This year, we didn't have as much of a fall off as we would normally expect, because the year-round work, the development of the players through the JV part and getting ready for Friday night, had a couple of games this year we'd love to have back. We did get one of them back, and we avenged that loss, but it was still a loss earlier in the season. We could easily be 6 wins going on 7 right now, I suppose. But that just says, hey, graduation, it hurt us a little bit last year because of the skill positions that we lost, but we were able to have the next man step up and go. And having games like this past Friday night is another way to build for next year and build for this Friday night, because you can't replicate that. And getting to play against Dutch Fork, that's the cream of the crop there in the state of South Carolina over the last 10 years, and it's got to be exciting, and our team is handling that so far.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is getting your program from where it's a rebuild to a reload.
Right, and that's kind of where we are. We're reloading instead of rebuilding.
And that's just a mentality thing. We're plenty talented enough, with our guys. I think there's just some things that we had to get sorted out within ourselves, as far as, our practice habits. And then, carrying those practice habits into the game on Friday and execute. And, I think we've been better the last 2 or 3 weeks. We've had some better outputs because of that. And we just got to continue doing that. We got to continue getting better. We got to continue to work and not expect things just to happen. I was listening to Nick Saban about the what you're given is, what you are granted every day is nothing, and the power of nothing and what that means. And just kind of, passing that to our kids is every morning you wake up, you got an opportunity to either work, get better, or you can just not
exist.
And we got to have those days where we bring it every single day in the weight room, in our meetings, at practice, how they eat, how they sleep, how they rest, how they do their schoolwork. Like, all those things are tied in together, because who you are in one is pretty much who you are across the board. Right. And, it's a younger group. We got a ton of guys that'll be coming back next year, but the goal right now is let's win as many games and let's stay together as long as we can this year. And, again, man, you get a measuring stick game this week to go and see where you fall, in the grand scheme of things. And, You win Friday night. I mean,
God.
there's no telling what happens with this group because you can't tell them nothing after that.
No. They go down there and play a solid game, get a win against Dutch Fork. That sends shockwaves through the state. It builds their confidence up, and you don't want to face these guys again.
I remember a Super Bowl where New England comes in 17-0 and nobody can beat New England, and guess what? They get beat. So it's certainly possible.
Sure it is. That's why we play on Friday nights.
With a group of well-coached kids like this.
Yep. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great game, great atmosphere down on the road, something these guys have earned this year. And it's, again, you can't replicate it up here in any way. So that's definitely going to be a great measuring stick, like you said, Coach. And we're looking forward to Friday night, second round.
I am too. Like I said, it's a huge game. It's a great opportunity, man. I keep telling our kids, like, we're so blessed because we have these great opportunities to play these really good football teams. And everybody's like, what are you talking about? But, like, if you want to establish yourself as being, something special, then you got to beat these teams. And a lot of teams don't get the opportunity to even play in these games. They don't get the opportunity to play Burns, Spartanburg, Dorman, Gaffney. They don't experience those nights. They don't experience that atmosphere. They don't experience that hype. Our kids get to experience that, whether they want to or not, every single year in those moments. And as a coach, I get to challenge myself. Am I good enough to be the head football coach in this region? Am I good enough to be the head football coach that takes us, into the playoffs and wins games, and not just get there, but can you win and can you compete? And that's the challenge. And if you don't like being challenged, you don't want adversity, or you don't, then this ain't where you need to be at.
Coach, you mentioned those teams there with Boiling Springs, Burns, Dorman, Spartanburg, and Gaffney. All of those teams are still active in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So pretty much the main top part of our region, they're still playing football in the second round, and I don't know hardly any other region in the state can say that.
We talk about it all the time. If you can just get through the region and then play other people, you got a chance.
Sure you do.
Because we just beat up on each other. And, I think that's a testament to those programs, testament to those coaches, how they do things. A lot of those guys are known to be winners in the playoffs. And that's, if you ask anybody, would you rather win a regular season championship, or would you rather be playing your best going into the playoffs and have a chance to win a state championship? That's the goal.
Sure it is.
Obviously, the thing that we got to do a better job of, and I say we, I'm talking about me specifically, is we got to win the games we're supposed to win. If you look back even to last year's group, we left a couple games on the table that we really, felt like we were the better team. We just didn't play the best that night, and it put us in a situation where we're traveling week 1, and then you go to Dutch Fork week 2. And the same thing this year. If we win the 2 games that we felt like we should have won in the regular season, you're 6-4. You're probably not even at 9 seed. You're probably the 6th seed. So you may not, you got a chance to not play the first round or be at home the first round, and possibly at home the second round.
Yep.
And to me, I love I love that we're in the playoffs. Love that we got a win last week. I'm not cutting any of that short, but just thinking about how can we get ourselves in a better position to play the teams we're playing in round 2 and round 3 or 4. And that's the evolution of our program. That's what we're going to continue to work towards and continue to do. But the great thing about it is it's all things we can control.
Sure.
It's not like, well, man, you got no chance against this team. You got no chance against this team. You can only win 3 or 4 games. This is the best situation you can be in. That's not the case.
No.
And that's my thing is we got to continue to grow the program, continue to grow our players, and continue to try and put our program in the best situation to make those deep playoff runs, when we can do that.
Well, and we're looking to do that again this Friday night, second round on the road against Dutch Fork. Looking forward to getting down there. We're going to sign off here. We're going to be down there at Dutch Fork on Friday night. Second round of the playoffs. Boiling Springs down there against the Dutch Fork Silver Foxes. Airtime's going to be 7 o'clock. First, the kickoff's going to be at 7:30. If you can make the drive down there, come on. If not, tune in and watch the game with us. We'll bring every play to you just like we always have. Thanks to our sponsors. Please go patronize them, because without them, we couldn't do it. But for Tom Dixon, Ken Walter, and Todd Waddell, Coach, appreciate you being with us, and we'll see you again Friday night.
Yes, sir. Go Dogs.